Jane Duff, who served 20 years on active duty in the U.S. Marine Corps and is now with Concerned Veterans for America. Jessie, good to see you. And so here we see it again. Of all the people who get the short end, when it comes to this law, the military's on the list.
Yes, absolutely. The veterans that have served for 20 years do by TRICARE, which is understood. And we've been very fortunate because legislation was passed that exempted TRICARE from a lot of the Obamacare standings. So that actually has benefited veterans to keep the rates that they've had. And unfortunately, yes, the children over 18 years of age cannot be covered. What veterans have to understand, though, is this is taxpayer subsidized. So when you start talking about taxpayer dollars, there will have to be some give and take. They get a very reduced rate. It's very affordable. I'm actually a beneficiary of TRICARE. So I'm actually very thrilled that it wasn't touched by Obamacare.
Yep. But here's the deal. Here's my question. Because it sounds like they said, okay, if you're over 21 but under 26, first they couldn't go on their parents' plan. But then they said, okay, yes, let's let them do that the same as they can do on Obamacare. But then they said, but you're going to have to pay for it, which is not the case necessarily. Technically, under Obamacare, you don't have to pay for it, but actually you may. Okay? So it's not the same. So the military has to pay under Obamacare, as I understand it, but not under, I'm sorry, they have to pay under TRICARE, but not under Obamacare.
Right. But the thing is, though, is that the beneficiary is actually the father who did serve on active duty. And so the fact that their dependents get to get covered by this is really a luxury because the rate is very reasonable for a single family.
So you like this?
So, well, I can't say that I like this, but I understand it because when you're talking about taxpayer paying for it, you're going to be torn with people that are over age 18 getting the benefit of it. So the fact that we retire at 20 years, my bigger concern is the government-run health care. What are we looking at with this? The VA has managed
what is TRICARE?
TRICARE is actually an insurance that we do pay for out of pocket.
Well, isn't it government run?
There is yes, and it has a lot of flaws. So when we're looking at TRICARE, you're looking at a lot of paperwork, you're looking at a lot of problems. So when people start talking about TRICARE, it is government-run health care. And people have to understand, this is what they're going to graduate to with Obamacare. So there's a lot of frustration with it, with many veterans, and there's always been frustration with it. There's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of detail involved with it, but it's at a reduced rate. So you're always torn with it. Because part of you loves it and part of you hates it, and that's part of government-run health care.
Would you prefer to be on Obamacare?
No, I would not. I can't handle any more government in my life. As it is right now, the VA can't even run their health care system. We're looking at overreach. We're looking at overspending. We're looking at health care that has cost some hospitals $600 million up to $1 billion at the Denver hospital when they were trying to build a new hospital. Things are costing way beyond what they expect. Government-run health care is not run effectively, and TRICARE is evidence of that. This man is suffering now that he has a daughter he can't put on the insurance program because it's government-run health care. So, you know, people are not going to get it easy with government-run health care, and the veterans are going to suffer with it too.
I don't know. I mean, they could have just left it as it was, and then you wouldn't have been able to have your child on there up to 26.
Agree.
So I see your point. There is some benefit, but it costs money. Like everything. Jessie, great to see you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Well, the president who gave us two of the most liberal Supreme Court